Right, for more on this, let's now extend a very warm welcome to crime expert, Mr. Willem Els. Willem, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Let's start by dissecting the latest crime stats, right, where it's reported that overall contact crimes, which of course includes your murder, assault and robbery, saw a 3.1% drop from the same period last year.
Good afternoon to you, Alicia. Yes, indeed. It was long overdue for them to release these crime stats. We've been waiting for it for a long time. And at the end of the day, it gives you some kind of a positive ear when you listen that you say that the 3.2% drop. But 3.2% drop in these type of violent crimes, if there are so many and we're so overwhelmed with these crimes, it's only a drop in the ocean. So that is our challenge that we are sitting with our overwhelmingly high rate of crime, and also the challenges that we face in actually countering or combating these crimes. It seems that we are fighting a losing battle the way we are continuing today.
Absolutely, Willem. I mean, the sexual offences have yet again shown an increase, with the president recently declaring GBV and femicide not a disaster, but a national crisis. So how then do we deal with such crimes going forward? We're still getting largely underreported cases that you and I often speak about, meaning that this is not even a true reflection of what is currently happening in terms of these cases. But police arrest perps, the court system releases them in all types of crimes, not just rapes, even repeat offenders. So constitutional reforms are now the urgent need for governance in this regard.
Indeed, yeah, and especially when it comes to your gender-based violent crimes, you see that as you mentioned, it's one of the most underreported crimes in South Africa for various reasons. So it is not even a true reflection of what is actually really going on the ground. And the challenge with that is most of them are violent, and most of them are actually affecting the most vulnerable in our society. So having it declared as a national disaster is very sort of a positive step, because at the end of the day, in theory, a lot more resources will be allocated towards countering this. But all these resources, if you just throw it at the problem, it's not going to solve the problem. It is now that we have to look at a good strategy that will include, of course, all the different role players, including community. In your previous inserts, we heard the community is also coming together now to address the problem. Your trust deficit between the community and the police is at all-time low. And that is one of the reasons why we are not making inroads, apart from all the others, into this. So it is time that we get the community and the police together. We know it's not going to be easy because of the very, very low trust levels of the public in the police. But it's also a time for the police to rise and shine and start to amend their image and their accountability amongst the communities. Because at the end of the day, if you look at policing and you look at where it's coming from, the original principles of policing is that the police is from the community and in the community. They have to be part of the community and take hands, because alone the police is not going to fight it, and alone the public is also not going to fight it.
When you speak of role players, an anti-crime organization actually reacted to these latest crime stats, Willem, and they say that the latest crime stats actually show that the basics of policing have actually collapsed. I mean, that is such a true statement when we're talking about organizational reforms. Well, let's talk about these stats. They did find that 11 of the 30 top performing police stations, in fact, were in the Western Cape. Well, congratulations to them, but where are the police in crime-ridden areas like the townships, even villages now? The Cape Flats, for example, where the insert that you're speaking about was actually taking place. There is an increase of murders, 9.1% murder rates, Willem. This is absolutely shocking, and children are making the bulk number of this.
Indeed, yeah. And if you look at those murders, you see we're looking at about 63 murders per day. There's on a nationwide level, they say that there's been a decrease. That 63 people, I think, 3 people too many for where we are. We are amongst the top 10 constantly. amongst the top 10 countries in the world when it comes to murder rate. And it's been like that for some time. But it seems that our strategies, it seems that whatever we are doing, it's talk, and talk is cheap, because we are not getting any results. So fortunately, we're sitting now with the strategies, and from his side we see that he's trying to engage on the strategic level. Our challenge is at the moment that we see also, as was mentioned in your insert, with the Commission and with the ad hoc committee, South Africa is in serious trouble when it comes to law enforcement, when it comes to your judiciary, when it comes to intelligence, when to corruption on different levels. So that is a challenge that we will have to face as a matter of great urgency, because otherwise we're just going to try to put a band-aid on the sore, and we're not going to start to turn the ship around.
Absolutely. Willem, a very quick one. You also heard of the incident involving the 2 police officers in Ivory Park that were ambushed and their service pistols also stolen in the act. This cannot be allowed. I mean, the war against our law enforcement should be promptly addressed. How does the government then ensure that its forces aren't just sitting ducks?
Yeah, if we look at this incident, it is common that knowledge that that's one of the modus operandi of these criminals to obtain and to lay their hands on firearms is to target police officers. Some of them walking alone to home, or some of them off duty. But here it was on duty, and we see that they ambushed them and they ruthlessly killed them, and also the other murder case that is now also allegedly linked to it. So your challenge with that is, the brazenness of the attack. It demonstrates to you that the criminals lost their fear for policing. And that needs to be restored. There must be consequences. And the only time that there will be consequences if these people, if they can be stopped before they perpetrate it, but also once they perpetrate it, to have them arrested, to have the case thoroughly investigated and pushed through court and get a good sentence on them. That is your best deterrence for these type of crimes. But our system is broken, and that is a challenge that need to be addressed from the top up to the futsal level. Our challenge is, and this is where maybe we can start with that, is that we have to start to keep your station commanders, your station commissioners accountable for what is happening in their regions where these crimes are out of hand. And your challenge there is there discipline? Do they provide management? Do they provide leadership? Do they have the right resources? If not, what are the platforms that they are addressing in order to do that? But of course, at the end of the day, we can keep on complaining, and we have to start to act.
I mean, police are still looking for that individual who accosted and killed 2 police officers, Willem, and 2 more officers are now dead. And it's a daily occurrence that we have to report these matters. Willem, as always, very enlightening engagement. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. That is Mr. Willem Els, the crime expert, weighing in on crime matters within the country.